wabarakatuh. Welcome to the first ever live past paper session for computer science, IGCSE and O levels 0478 0984 or 2210, depending upon whatever code you have out of these. If you're giving Cambridge Computer Science, this video is for you. This live session is for you. I am Syed Umar and I'll be solving this paper for you, trying to explain you the questions as much as I can and trying to explain you the tips and tricks that you need to take care of in order to solve a question paper and score maximum possible marks. This is the first ever paper for the new session, a new syllabus of computer science that was changed back in 2023. This is the February-March 2023 paper. Now, in February-March, we only have the IGCSE attempt. We don't have an O-level paper, but since IGCSE and O-level syllabus is absolutely same, the papers are always also same. So it is good practice to solve papers for February-March series, as some of the questions from February-March series are often repeated in the same year, the May-June attempt and October-November attempt. So let's start and hopefully we'll understand this paper better. Computers can be infected with malware. Spyware is one example of malware. Tick one box to show correct definition of spyware. Software that activates webcam and transmits the video to a third party that outputs it live on a website. No, that's not what spyware does. Software that detects when a password is being entered and then emails. No. Again, no. Your spywares cannot detect what type of data is being entered. They cannot do any form of analysis. Software that records all data entered into a computer. Okay, that makes sense. Analyze this data. No, that's a red flag. No, that's not how spyware works. So this cannot be our chosen option as well. Software that records all key processes and transmits these to a third party. Yes, that's our answer. So I'm going to put a tick over there. Okay. If you have not if you are new to this channel, if you have not subscribed, please make sure to do so and make sure to watch this video till the end, as at the end of this video we'll be having a Q&A session as well. So if you have any confusions, if you have any problems, if you have any issues that you would like to discuss, any questions about paper 1, please make sure about paper 1. This session is about paper 1. Will be the next session we'll be having, inshallah, that will be of paper 2. Anyways, so about if you have any confusion regarding any of the topics or any of the questions in this paper or in journal, any question about paper 1 that you would like to ask me, then post your questions in the comments and I'll definitely go through the session and I'll respond them over here live to you as well as in the comments. Okay, next, complete the table by identifying and describing 2 other examples of malware. Now, in our syllabus, we have absolutely 6 total types of malwares. We have a Trojan horse, we have virus, we have worm, we have a ransomware, and we have adware. Now, out of these, we have spyware as well, but spyware has already been asked about in part A, so we cannot use that here again. Out of these 5, you have the option, you can write about any 2. Again, it doesn't matter. Now, this is a 6-mark question. So there will be 1 mark for the name that you mentioned and 2 marks for description. So make sure that whatever you choose out of these 5, you have 2 valid points for them. Now, for example, I'm going to go ahead with virus. So about virus, what can I write? I can write a software that can self-replicate itself and corrupt the files on user's device, or because we need 2 marks for this. 1 mark for the name of malware and 2 marks for the description. Proxy servers and firewalls have some similar functions. Identify 2 similarities and 1 difference between them. Similarity. Now, similarities are quite easy. Both of them examine network traffic, or you can say examine every packet going in and out of the network. The second similarity is both of them log network traffic. Every packet that is going in a network and going out of a network, it's sending and receiving destination IP addresses are logged with a timestamp in a log file. Difference is proxy server can hide a user's IP, whereas a firewall cannot. Now, there can be other similarities and other differences as well. So, if you want to go ahead with something else that's given in your textbook or that is a part of the syllabus, that is a valid similarity between proxy servers and firewalls or a valid difference between them, go ahead. This type of questions can have multiple answers. Whatever I'm writing on screen, it's not the definite and the only answer. So don't be confused if you have some other point in your mind. Moving on, the programmer has designed a three-dimensional interactive computer game. They are going to develop a program for the game. The program needs to run efficiently, but it must also be developed as soon as possible. Programmers should use a high-level language or a low-level language. This is a 4-mark question, and in questions like these, your choice does not have any marks. Whether you choose high level language or you choose low level language, there will be no marks for that, only marks that would be given to you for the reasoning that you write. So that means whatever you choose, you should choose it very carefully, as you should have 4 valid reasons to score the marks. Now, let's say I go ahead with high level language. So what can I write? It is easier for the programmer to read and write, so it will be completed quickly, like the program will be written quickly. It is easier for the programmer, if we are talking about high level language, to debug, so it will be tested quickly or it will have less errors. You can also write that high level languages have program libraries that can help with quick development of the program, because they are pre-tested and pre-written pieces of codes. Anyways, describe the operation of a compiler and of interpreter. 4-mark question, so again we need to write 2 points each. A compiler translates whole program in one go and then produce a list of errors at the end, or a exe file. On the other hand, an interpreter would translate the code line by line and would halt as soon as first error is encountered. Now, you can also write some other differences, like a compiled program does not need the help of compiler anymore, or it can run independent of the compiler, whereas an interpreted program needs the help of interpreter every time it is run. A new computer comes with primary and secondary storage. Data storage is measured by using binary denominations. Complete each conversion. You are also given a working space. 8 bytes equals to how many nibbles? Remember that 1 nibble is equal to 4 bits. So in 1 byte, or in every byte, we have 2 nibbles. So in 8 bytes, 8 multiplied by 2 will have 16 nibbles. 512 kibibytes will be equal to how many mebibytes? That would be equal to half mebibyte, because in 1 mebibyte we have 1024 kibibytes. 4 gigabytes will have how many mebibytes? 1 gigabyte have 1024, so just multiply 4 with 1024, 4096 megabytes. 1 XB byte, that's our biggest unit, technically has 1024 petabytes in it. Give 3 examples of data that is commonly stored in RAM. Simple part of operating system currently in use, and as well as something like application software or part of application software currently running, whatever software you're running on your system, as well as we have the third thing, data or instructions which are being processed right now. Describe the purpose of secondary storage. Always write it is non-volatile storage used to save users files and data at rest. What is the meaning of at rest? If you don't want to use this term, you can elaborate it, which are currently not being required or processed. The data which is not currently being used, which is not being processed, which is just sitting there in your hard drive, that's known as data at rest. Next, we have a wildlife photographer stores their digital images on a computer. Complete the table by defining each term. Pixel, the smallest element of an image. It can represent a single color at a time, but you don't need to write that much. You can simply write the smallest unit or smallest element of an image. Resolution, the total number of pixels in an image. Then one of the images has a resolution of 1000 by 1000 pixels and a color depth of 2 bytes. Calculate the file size. Then you can show your working over here. For calculating file size of an image, simply multiply the resolution with the color depth, which is already in bytes, so less work for us. 1000 multiply by 1000 multiply by 2, that is going to give us 2 and followed by 6 zeros, so something like 2 million. And we can then just write that answer over here in the given blank, and we are done. The photographer decides to purchase a solid state device to back up their images. Complete the description of solid state drive. Use the terms from the list. Okay, some of them will not be used, and you should use one term once only. Solid state is dash. This means data is not lost when power is turned off. Non-volatile. Solid state is made up of dash that are laid out in a dash. Transistors. Normally we would say electronic chips, but that's not one of the available options. So transistors is our next best shot, that are laid out in form of grids or arrays. Again, we don't have the word arrays over here. Gates are used to control the flow of electrons in and out of the transistors, so the value can change from 1 to 0 or from 0 to 1. Like I said before, if you don't understand something or if you are confused about whether something is a part of the syllabus or not, you can post your questions below, and we are going to have a Q&A session at the end of this paper. So stay tuned, stay with me, and if you're new here, do subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. You can ask all your queries about paper 1 below, and I'll definitely respond to each one of them to the best of my knowledge, inshallah. The photographer compresses an image file before it is emailed. Give one reason or one benefit: to save storage space. That's the most easiest benefit. Other than that, to send the file quickly, to receive the file quickly, or to upload file quickly, to download file quickly, or lastly, you can say to save bandwidth or to utilize less bandwidth. A website allows user to purchase items. Computer A sends a request for the home page to the website server. Request is sent using packet switching. The structure of a packet of data has three elements. One element is the packet header. Identify two items of data contained in packet header. Now officially we have four things in a packet header: sender's IP address, receiver's IP address, sequence number, total number of packets, as well as something like an error detection method. Officially that's supposed to be in the trailer, but somehow Cambridge Examiner considers it to be a part of packet header as well. So you can write any two of them. IP address of source, IP address of destination, and that's about it. Two other elements of a packet header is already mentioned. Then that leaves us with payload and the trailer. Computer A needs to be directly connected to a router that is located in a different room, and you have to tick one box to identify whether serial data transmission or parallel data transmission is most suitable. Explain the reason for your choice. Again, no marks for choice. Remember that. 3-mark question, so that means you have to give 3 points no matter what you choose. If you are choosing serial transmission, then you can write best for long distance, cheaper as only single wire needed to send or receive messages, plus something like no issue of data being received out of sync or data being skewed. For parallel transmission, you can say it is short distance, so no issue of skewing. Then you can say faster data transmission. Then you can say for parallel data transmission, it's good for short distance. Yeah, that would cover 3 points. Good for short distance, no issue of skewing because distance is short, and faster transmission rate. These three would work fine. Now I'm going to go ahead with serial data transmission, but I've already explained you the points for parallel as well. All right, next you can write any other difference as well. If you have another point in mind and you would like to ask whether it is valid or not, you can leave it in the comments and I'll just get back to you in the Q&A session at the end of the paper. All right, for serial data transmission, best for long distance, no issue of data being skewed, as well as you can say cheaper as only single wire is required. Define full duplex data transmission. Transmission of data in both directions simultaneously or at the same time. That's it. You don't need to write anything else. Data transmission will use parity checks. Parity byte need to be sent using an even parity byte check. Complete this table or complete the parity bit. So even parity means the number of ones should be even, 1, 2, 3, 4, even. So parity bit should be 0. There are all zeros and no ones. This is also considered to be an even situation, even scenario. So parity bit will also be 0 for this one. A parity block check can be used instead of a parity byte check. Explain how a parity block check might detect an error in transmission that would not be detected by a parity byte check. Parity byte check can't detect an error if two bits have been changed, or rather we should say interchanged during transmission, plus parity block check can identify the what you can say location of the incorrect bit as well. Parity check can only tell you whether there is an error or not. Parity block can also tell you in what row and what column or what is the exact bit in the entire message that has been altered. Okay, the data was sent using an even parity block check, and then here's the block. One of the bits has been transmitted incorrectly. We have to find that. Okay. For that, we will need to count the number of ones in each row and each column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, correct, 1, 2, correct, 1, 2, 3, 4, correct, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct, 1, 2, 3, that is wrong. Now let's check the columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, correct, 1, 2, 3, 4, correct, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, correct, 1, 2, 3 and 4, also correct, 1, 2, that is also correct, 1, 2, 3, this is incorrect. So that means bit number 6 and byte number 4 is having error. And we have successfully found our error. Moving on, the website allows the user to set up an account to log on and purchase items. The website is accessed and displayed using a web browser. Two functions of the web browser are to render HTML to display web pages, means to translate HTML and show them in form of web pages, and to store cookies. Identify two other functions. There can be many possible answers, such as saving bookmarks, tabbed browsing, saving history, as well as navigation tools, address bar to type in URL, search bar, and so many other options. Identify two ways that cookies can be used to enhance users' experience of that website. They can be used to store users' preferences for the website, as well as they can be used to maintain a virtual shopping cart, as this is an e-commerce website and users are allowed to purchase items. Plus, you can also mention they can be used to store login details for the user, or they can be used to store a history of previously purchased items, etc. Involved in robotics, and then we are given a table with binary, denary, and hexadecimal values that we just have to find the unknown. So since we are given the binary value and a denary value, finding hexadecimal is easy. You can just divide the given binary value into 4 bits each and calculate the hexadecimal value. This is the 1. 4 ones in binary would mean 15. That would be F. So 1F would be your answer for the first one. Then we have 8C in hexadecimal or 140 in denary. You can either convert denary into binary by using the LCM method, or you can convert each of these characters into 4 bits each. So for 8, we are going to have, this is the 8-bit on, rest would be off. For C is 12, so 8th bit, 4th bit, and then rest will be 0, 0. 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. We have to convert it in denary. Just add the place value of 1 bit. So that is 2. That is 8, 10. That is 16, 26. That is 64. That would be 90. Then we have 120 denary or 78 hexadecimal. Convert it into binary. Okay, for 7, we don't need the 8th bit. 4, 3, 4, 2, and 1 will make up a 7. For 8, turn on the 8th bit, turn off rest of them. There we go. Describe what is meant by robotics, a branch of computer science that deals with conception, construction, design, and operation of robots. That's it. Now this is a 2-mark question, and so if you want, you can only write 2 of these keywords: conception, construction, design, and operation. However, it's better to use all 4 of them, because you might get this definition in your paper for slightly more marks. The robot has a sensor and a microprocessor. Robot will move forward continuously until it detects an object that is less than or equal to 10 centimeter in front of it. If an object is less than or equal to 10 centimeter in front of it, robot turns 90 degrees right and then tries to move forward again. Explain how the sensor and microprocessor are used to automate this. This is a 7-mark question, and as I have explained in my lectures before as well, this is a must-to-have question in paper 1, and it can range from 5 marks to 8 marks. So first of all, we'll write sensors will record data from the environment and send it to microprocessor at specific time interval. That first point alone can get you about 2 marks. This data will be converted into digital format by ADC. Third mark. Fourth mark, microprocessor will compare it with pre-stored values. If it is within range, no action is taken. You can either get 1 mark for this or 2 marks for this depending upon the marks distribution in mark scheme. So let's say 5th mark, 5 out of 7 done. If the values are out of range, microprocessor will signal an actuator. 6th mark right there. When you mention actuator, to turn the robot 90 degrees, and that would be your 7th mark. At the end, we usually quote the given countermeasure that is given in the question. Now, if you write just this much, you'll definitely get 7 out of 7. But if you want to, improve your answer, you want to take it to the next level, then you can write another statement at the very end. This process continues repeatedly until stopped by the user. Even if you forget to write this last line, don't worry, you'll get your full marks. Next, we have described the characteristics of AI, as the robot needs to find its way through different puzzles, and every puzzle has a series of paths and dead ends and obstacles, and the robot needs to find its way to the end of the puzzle. All right. So this is we just have to describe characteristics of AI. According to syllabus, we have it has the ability to learn things and add it to its database. It has the ability to reason, like give reason, logical deductions for something, and then you can write. Also, last but not the least, it has the ability to analyze or find patterns. Also, another point that you can write, it has the ability to collect information or collect data and store it in its database. Explain how the program will use AI. The program will use machine learning to collect data and store it in its database. Now, how this will happen, it will basically store all successful solutions to a puzzle, as well as unsuccessful, not solution, let's say tries, into its database, so it can use it as a reference and solve similar problems quickly in future, or avoid questions which are incorrect. That's about it. You'll get 4 marks for that. Okay, and we have reached the end of our paper. I hope you have understood everything and you found this session beneficial to you. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to continue doing this. And in the next session, inshallah, we'll be discussing a paper 2. So stay tuned till then. And now I'm going to go through with the questions you have posted in the comment section, or if in future after this live session has ended, even if you add some questions, then I'll definitely get back to them and respond to them in the comments. So let's get to the questions.
Okay, so far,
I have only had one question, and that question is simply this. In the question of high and low level language, is the answer enough? Did we satisfy it for 4 marks? Yes, we did satisfy it for 4 marks. According, you can check the mark scheme yourself as well. 4 mark question meant 2 marks for each of them. So yeah, that is fine. You can post. I'm still here. Anyways, inshallah, next session will be on Friday, and at the same time, and in Friday session, we'll be discussing a paper 2. I hope most of you have gotten your answers correctly. If you had already solved this session, this paper, and if not, I hope this was this video, this live session was helpful to you, and you were able to learn something new. Okay, then the next question we have in chapter 6, how to use AI was something new to me. Well, yes, but that is a part of the syllabus, and recently in the new syllabus, we are getting more logical questions. So you should not overlook chapter number 6. Apparently, it has become the new fan favorite of Cambridge Examiner, and we are getting a lot of questions from number 6 lately. All right, next we have please explain the AI question of 4 marks. The AI question was basically about the what you can say characteristics of AI. Over there, characteristics of AI are mentioned in the syllabus. You can read from there as well. And just had to we just had to tell what would be possible characteristics of an AI software. It was 4 mark question, so we explained the reasoning part. Basically, there are something like three characteristics of an AI. The it has the it is able to reason, it is able to learn new things and add it to its database. It can adapt according to its environment. These are some of the characteristics for an AI. Okay, next question. I'm not prepared at all for pseudocode. Should I start studying from YouTube or workbook? Utilize as many resources as you can. For the 15-mark question, we'll discuss that in detail in our next video as well. That will be on paper number 2. Other than that, uh, other than that, for 15-mark question, we have a whole playlist where I have solved 5 example questions. You can view that from the main channel. Hopefully, that will resolve your issues. Yeah, I was saying AI topic of AI has become fan favorite for camera examiner lately, so you should not overlook this topic. We are expected to see more and more questions from this topic in the upcoming examination. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. I'm sorry for those students who were having a slight voice issue. I have been monitoring the feedback, well, through an assistant on another device, but apparently there are still some slight technical issues left. Hopefully, you would be able to have a clear version once the live session ends and YouTube hides this as a regular video. Uh, I'll try to resolve technical issues at my end if I find any in the next session. So, see you guys.